Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mage the Ascension the Victorian Age here on Dork Tales. I hope you're all doing well tonight. I'm your storyteller, Kelly, and I am here to guide you back in time to an age of magic, mystery, and wonder known as the Victorian Era, which was also the age of horse-drawn carriages and streets lined with muck that are probably I shouldn't say in the first minute of the video for YouTube standards when that goes up there. Hi, everybody. I hope you are all here and ready to have some fun. Like I said, I'm Kelly. I use he and him, and I am super excited to be here tonight. We had to take last week off because of a life complication that happened, but thankfully things are slightly less complicated this week. We are going to be hopping into game in just a moment. Before that, I'm going to ask my wonderful players to introduce themselves as we do a quick round. I was going to say round robin, but a round circle, since we have a robin in this game.
I know I've put on a few pounds from COVID, Kelly, but I wouldn't call myself round.
Don't put that in my mouth.
I know, I'm sorry.
Right.
I had to, though. I
know. Folks, what we're going to do is, depending on the pace of game, I know where game is going to stop it in. Normally what we do is we have a break in the middle. I am recovering from an old recurring back injury from my youthful stupidity is flaring up. So I'm going to see how well I can stay sitting. We had to cancel game a couple times this week because I couldn't sit up. But I'm doing okay, and I'm wearing like a snug vest, which is kind of like, I don't know, baby's first corset, kind of like, so it's kind of a little bit of back support. We'll see how it goes. But why don't we go ahead and introduce our players, and we'll let you know whether or not, basically just stay along for the ride. All right, so passing it over. Hi, Christine.
Hello, I am Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I am playing Dr. Evelyn Taylor, our what is it? Society of Ether?
Yep.
That's what they were, become?
That's what they become.
Become. Electrodyne engineer is what she was. She's kind of somewhere in the middle right now. Nice. Society of Ether doesn't really exist yet.
It's more of like a secret society.
Yeah. We're secret mad scientists. And she also uses she, her.
All right, let's pass it over to Amy.
Hello, that's me. Hi, I'm Amy. I use she, her, and they, them pronouns, and I will be playing Chastity, Prudence, Goodwin, our, what was it? Cult of Ecstasy / Celestial Chorister. And she also uses she, her.
Nice. All right, down to Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I use she, her pronouns, and I will be playing Josephine Carrington, or Josie, or Joe, or whatever. She uses probably she, her, or they, them pronouns. She doesn't really care. And she is a Hermetic, Order of Hermes. Benny Tharsis. There we go. I remember my terms. We're going to have a great time tonight.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, Robin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I am playing Darcie Harkness, our member of the Verbena. Yeah. Looking forward to game tonight.
All right. Finally, a couple of quick things that I want to announce and just remind everyone. So Mage the Ascension the Victorian Age is a mature game. It is going to deal with some issues that are not necessarily pleasant and perhaps may be difficult for some people to deal with. Like, we have a warning at the beginning of the game that says that, this game is intended for mature audiences, contains violence, depictions of horror, sexuality, and historic opinions, I think is probably the best way to say that. Obviously, we're going to try to tell the story the best way we can, the most tasteful way that we can. But if you find something difficult in this episode and you don't think you can handle it, put it aside. Come back. We'll be waiting for you. And if you want to just trudge on without it, skip ahead 5 minutes if you're watching the VOD. And yeah, take care of yourself first. I also want to say that we are going to do our best to telegraph any instances of particularly noteworthy content. So if something is coming up that is very rough, I will particularly let you know. For example, there is a slight tinge on one of the characters tonight, may have a slight tinge of anti-Semitism. I'm going to downplay it as much as possible, but this is Victorian London, and you are dealing with the death of a character who is Jewish. So, depending on who you ask, some people might not have favorable opinions. I will do my best to make sure that it's handled tastefully, and I guarantee this is not a character saying this that you're going to think is at all cool. But I just wanted to preload that, since there is a lot of Jewish iconography in tonight's game, and in all that means. So, and of course, my players and I have a standing agreement about what we find comfortable with each other. But yeah, that's us. And then should I do a little note about what we have in the chat right there? Or nah, hop in.
It might be worth it to just mention that we're not going into that.
Okay, so even on our break tonight, we're a West Coast stream. We are very socially liberal in our approach to things. That being said, tonight we're going to try to play game and not look at some of the recent political events that are happening in the United States right now. That's not because we're avoiding the issue. It's just that it's so depressing that we don't want to get into it tonight. I have had a request from, like, and I'm saying this on behalf, with permission and encouragement of my female and femme presenting players, that this is not something we want to touch on tonight.
Nope, and don't really want to see it discussed in the chat. This is an entertaining space. We're here to maybe have a nice time away from.
We're here to have a nice time and to punch misogynists.
Yes.
I've already had that depressive, frustrating, angry talk discussing it where it doesn't go anywhere and we can't do anything about it right now and whatnot. So it is what it is right now. Let's put it aside.
Yeah.
So, so that's just going to say we're not going to touch on that tonight, except to say that, and that we're all depressed, and that if you do need to talk to somebody, please go to our Discord. We have a fantastic party heal section, and the Discord's free. So head in, make some friends. It's a really great community, and we'd love to have you there. Besides that, yeah, it's rough. Canada's right here if you need us. As the token expat American, you get used to the smell
Oi!
of fresh air and maple syrup on everyone's breath.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like I don't know if we can say this on Twitch.
We D&D exists. I think we can talk about.
Oh right, yeah, we D&D exists. I
mean,
forget. Yes.
it's legal most places now.
I know. I just forgot if we can say that on Twitch. I forgot about we D&D.
We have the Cult of Ecstasy in this game, Robin. I'm pretty sure that we.
That's true. I totally forgot about that.
I like that you didn't go for a euphemism. Instead, you just made that off like that.
That was amazing, honestly.
My brain. That's the state of my brain today.
Well, the way that you did that, I immediately went to like long cigarello like Cruella de Vil uses, like this, and I'm like, we're not allowed to be Monopoly villains. Like, welcome to Mage the 1920s.
It should have been. Yeah, and there we go.
Yeah, you got to make the cool eye gesture.
I thought that's what we're talking about.
Because the eyes were burning.
Your eyes are burning. Oh, fresh fried donut in. No, it's Tim Hortons donuts up here, guys. Like, they're not real donuts.
No, you got to go to Empire.
You got to go to like the artisanal donut places. Yeah.
Yeah.
Artisanal.
Maybe I'm probably in the minority, but I actually prefer a lot of Timmy's donuts.
They have very particular taste that you kind of.
Oh, we lost Christine. We lost Christine. She's gone from the stream. I don't know what happened.
Love the spiced old fashioned. They don't. Artisanal ones don't make that.
People are gonna get cut from the stream for terrible taste.
I haven't had the artisanal one, so I have nothing to compare them to because I can't have them. So I only like Tim Hortons ones.
Why are you flashing, Christine?
Because he thinks I'm wrong. But all the artisanal ones are the same type of donut with different toppings on them.
If we're gonna get cut for having bad, like poor taste, all of us would be gone for some reason or another.
It's true.
If only. Oh, okay. All right.
I just love the old fashioned with the spices. 'Cause it has nutmeg and cinnamon and stuff in it.
The best donuts
so
are at
good.
Pike's Place Market. It's the mini donuts, the mini cinnamons. They're the
Those
best.
are pretty good.
Because they're not even really technically donuts.
2 depressing foods, a lemon, grape, olive, strawberry, pumpkin, peanut sandwich. What?
I have grapes in the fridge.
Yeah, we do actually. I
Oh,
forgot
I'm
about
going to
that.
eat grapes after this. Got any grapes? Thanks, Traz. I see that you're watching out for me as I'm stretching my back there and making oof gestures. I just took a lot of ibuprofen, so that should kick in soon. And I spent like about an hour this morning stretching, so should be good. And hey, if any of you are teenagers who are just getting into weightlifting for the first time, let me tell you one quick trick, one quick secret. Don't do it in your bedroom. Don't bench press in your bedroom. Don't bench press at your bedroom by yourself at 1 a.m. And if you do, learn how to properly get the weights off your chest instead of trying to, like, you know, sit up.
Or just go to a gym.
Or just go to a gym, but
Like
some
there's
people.
safety bars there.
Well, it was much harder to get to a gym in the middle of. I grew up in the middle of Missouri. Like it was like a.
I mean, that's fair.
It was a 40-minute drive to the nearest gym. That was any.
Or
Yeah.
you know what? If you don't have safe ways in which to do like weight bearing exercise, maybe do body weight.
Send that
little
message
safer.
back 20 years and like we'll. But yeah.
Okay, use some time magic. Use some of Chastity's time magic.
There we go.
Nice.
Do some
Amy, go
pull-ups.
talk to me when I was a kid. Go. All right.
Just like take her off stream for a second and put her back.
Well, I wouldn't do that. Oh, we lost her. Oh, hi, Amy. My back feels better.
Lies and slander. It does not.
All
Oh,
right.
we've been told to hydrate from a random
Oh,
keeping
God,
us.
please.
healthy.
Also, we're in the middle of a heat wave right now, so if you like Mage the Ascension of the Victorian Age, send ice. Okay.
Oh, I just thought of a great idea and I wish I'd done it, which is freeze a tea towel and put it around my neck under the collar.
Oh,
See, I planned ahead and spent 2 days freezing ice cubes and putting them into a bin in my freezer.
Nice.
Are you looking at the little me? Come, we need to hit up some conventions. I have so many things I want to talk to because I missed like 3 days of streaming for y'all, but we should really hit game up because it's already 7:20. So I will. I'll tell you some stuff later. I also have to say that tonight is not going to open with a piece of fiction, because I couldn't sit up enough to write it. So I will write it and I'll maybe read an additional one before next game. So I apologize for that. If you're on Patreon, I will be uploading those shortly. And a quick reminder that everybody on Patreon of the $5 tier of higher, which we have gotten 2 more people this week, which is fantastic, will be getting access to tomorrow night's session 0 of Strixhaven, which is going to be broadcast live via a YouTube link that only people with the link can watch. It's like a secret society. It's great. So you all should join us for that. It's going to be fantastic. Okay. You all ready for Mage the Ascension?
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot till I saw everybody else that we're Victorian ladies. We've got fans.
Yes.
I'm a Victorian man. I just say I gotta die.
I mean, you can have a fan too.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Amy
fans.
reminded me. I saw her fanning it, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
All right.
That's a
So
thing.
last time on Mage the Ascension, the Victorian Age, you returned from your meeting at Miss Falkland's Temple of Love after you had had a strange encounter with creatures of time magic. Spirits that dwelled beyond the reaches of temporal limits. From there, you traveled to go meet with one Dr. Gilbert Saxon. A man who could unlock some of the secrets of the time box that you had in front of you. You traveled that way with Dr. Freeman acting as your driver, yet again. Made it to Gilbert Saxon's house, and there you were greeted by his widow, Ruth, who explained that he had been murdered sometime the previous week and laid to rest. He had been robbed in one of the nearby streets and left to die in a gutter, his throat cut. After investigating his workshop, you found a significant amount of information that seems to imply that Dr. Saxon had a private laboratory somewhere near or potentially on the Tower of London that might have the secrets that you seek. Bidding farewell to his widow, you headed back out into the Victorian streets, mounted into the buggy, and prepared to head off to the nearby Bancroft Road Jewish cemetery. The horse and buggy pick up, and you can hear the shouts and calls of people nearby. For East London is not a place for four well-to-do young ladies to be traveling, no matter what time of day, especially not now, as it approaches late evening and darkness spreads across the land underneath a veil of old Victorian smog. The inside of the carriage rattles, and you find yourselves headed over toward Bancroft Road. What are you talking about or doing as you make your way?
I think Josie's still kind of nursing the bump on her head she got from falling.
I guess Darcie will be like, what did you guys find out? I did a good job distracting her, I think. I think she might want to be someone to talk to, but what did you guys manage to find out down there?
From what I could tell, most things of value were gone. However, there's indication that he had a secret lab. That he was not all that the rest of the Order of Reason thought he was. I believe it's Order of Reason now, right?
It is still the Order of Reason.
Yeah.
For the moment.
Mm-hmm.
There were indications that he may have been part of the Skeleton Keys.
What are that? Who are that?
It doesn't
The
sound
boogeymen
good.
of the Order of Reason.
It doesn't sound good, no.
The ones that keep the rest in line. But from what it sounds like she said, his key was of great value to him and she buried him with it. And they missed taking it when they came to check. So that will probably get us into his lab.
Oh, so we're going to find this key
Yes.
that was buried. Okay, well.
Are you alright with digging up a grave?
Should be fun.
It should be fine.
I'm not the most comfortable with the idea, but I suppose we must.
I guess. I mean, we've already.
I'm afraid there's no room for squeamishness when there's science to be done.
I'm feeling pretty strong, so I can probably help shovel the dirt up. Oh, I did not think I was getting that today.
I'm not afraid of a little exertion.
Hopefully we will not get too messy.
Just try to be respectful about it.
Well, of course.
The carriage veers, heading down a side road and up a hill. And before long, you can all see it in the distance. Bancroft Hill. It's not the most... well, it's not the largest or most well-appointed. You can see a nearby synagogue that is, very humble. In fact, without looking for a few touchstone items along it, you would be hard-pressed to even see that it was a place of worship. As progressive as things are starting to become in large cities, it's still not necessarily safe for those of the Jewish faith. And as you pop forward, you can see that there were gates on the front of Bancroft Hill. Now there are not. Bits of torn wrought iron hang on hinges and you can see splatters of blood and other fluids along the inside. The dirt road that leads into the cemetery proper is rocky, rickety, and rough. So here we are, you hear from the slide. Dr. Freeman drives you to the front.
That's not the tidiest graveyard I've ever seen.
It's no good to disrespect the dead like that.
You folk gonna be able to be okay out there?
Well, I don't have much experience around a shovel, but
I
I'm
don't
sure
see
we'll
why we
manage.
wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, do we have anything to dig it up with?
There's likely to be a grave tender's shed inside of there.
So now we're digging up graves and stealing. Looking for a penny at the end of this.
I'm gonna keep moving. The last thing we need is to draw attention with this carriage. Unless one of you would like to stay with it?
No, I think even if... I think it would be better if us poor, frail, darling women were caught than
Yeah.
yourself, Doctor.
You'd probably face a significant amount less throttling than I would.
Yes.
Imagine what they'll do when they find out I'm American.
I'm sure between all of us we can fake a seance.
That's probably the
We
best
have
way
had
to do
recent
things.
experience with one.
That we did. Oh, that could come in handy. I'm sure, and she'll start rummaging through her bag of various feathers and different bones. I'm sure I could fake it quite well. They might call it a bit of witchcraft, but if we try and do a seance, that is quite respectable witchcraft of the day.
Yeah. I don't think you have to worry about that. Not on the east side. And true enough, Darcie, you're not actually that far away from where you and Maeve's place was. Probably about half a mile.
Yes, you're right. I guess I didn't realize how close we were.
The city's all packed in together.
Yes. Only moved here 6 months ago, so it's still quite new. Quite crowded compared to the fields of Ireland.
Well, looks like we have a break. Nobody watching. At least nobody I can see. Might do best to head out now.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's.
All right. I would like, if you're trying, are you trying to be stealthy making your way in?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. At least quiet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I use forces to dampen our sound?
Absolutely, yeah. For an area around you, would be quite large.
If Josephine maybe mutters something about that, if she would be able to potentially talk about it with Darcie, Darcie could throw some forces as well to try and widen the dampening field.
That would be helpful, because then she'd have to spend a lot fewer successes.
Yeah, for sure. I'll as we kind of start to look out, I'll go. Maybe I'll just give us a little help in the sound department. Anyone up for it?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could assist with that.
Okay. So I'd like both of you to do me a favor and make me a forces roll. An arete roll at a difficulty of 5, 4 if you are using your specialty tools.
Yeah, for forces, what does Darcie use? Oh, she uses of feathers. So yeah, she'll probably take out some feathers and start like dusting people, basically like trying to like almost kind of tickle,
sweeping them?
but sweeping them with feathers to give the, lightness of the feather.
Sounds good. All right. And Joe, how are you doing this?
So my specialty focus for forces is rope. So I think at this point I'm just gonna like hand a piece of rope to everybody to just kind of hold for a second as I kind of encircle us.
Sounds good. All right.
And
go
then
ahead and make your roll.
muttering Latin, because as you do.
3 successes.
Okay, fantastic. And so, Jen, I need 2 from you to affect everybody for the rest of the scene.
I did actually get 2, so.
Perfect. All right. Casting a quick spell. There is going to be just a little shiver of magic around the 4 of you. And with that, all sound is going to vanish from you. However, that is going to have a slight downside as well. You are all rendered incapable of hearing anything. Using forces to make yourself silent makes you deaf. Using it to make yourself invisible makes you blind. Unless you combine it with other stuff.
Yep.
However, you are perfectly silent. Nothing's going in and out of your bubble. And with that, I would love it if you could make me a dex and stealth roll to sneak in. This is for visual things. But because it is dark at night and you are dead silent, why don't you go ahead and give it to me at a difficulty of 5?
Now, if I don't have stealth,
Yes.
I just rolled dex, or is there a penalty?
If it is stealth, I just have to remind myself. Is that in the first column or the second column?
Second.
So you're at difficulty 6 then.
Okay. I also have no stealth.
Neither do I. That's 3
1.
of us.
That's 1 point of stealth, so I
1 point
get
of stealth. Okay. Keeping yourselves low and hiking your skirts up, you're not used to having to creep around. You make your way inside of the cemetery. Working your way along the rows, keeping yourselves in the shadows. Can I get anybody who's looking around? If you're looking for this grave or something else, I would like a perception plus investigation roll at a difficulty of 8, unless you have a way of seeing in the dark.
If I don't have investigation, am I allowed to still make the roll?
You are. You can make a perception roll at difficulty 8 then.
So
Wait, was
holding
what
this
in
bubble
siege?
is a feel, like a magic effect, right?
Yeah.
So Darcie is 2 up, so that's now a penalty to my rolls?
Only to magic.
Only to magic. Okay.
Yeah. It's like clenching a muscle.
So it was intelligence and investigation or perception and investigation?
Perception and investigation.
Okay, and I ate a task mushroom, so Chas is adding -1 die to all perception-based pools right now.
You can use perception and alertness if you prefer, but
Doesn't really make a big difference.
I'm just gonna quickly refresh my
1 success for me.
memory
success?
on my
On perception alertness.
sounds good.
specifically.
All right, perception
Is it
alertness. Would you say 0?
well, I got a 6 and a 1, so I think that's a
That's a fail.
watch or a fail.
It's just a fail.
Okay.
Oh wait,
was that
pardon me. You got a 6
alertness or
and a 1.
awareness?
Right, because
Yeah.
you said it was difficulty 8, right?
Yeah, I
so
did.
I failed, and I bought. Yeah.
Can you make me a soak roll?
Okay. That's stamina.
It's your stamina, please.
Difficulty 6.
If she trips and falls, at least she won't make any noise.
I rolled a 7 and a 1.
Okay. You are going to be creeping through the cemetery, looking for any sign of anything. You got 2. What did you get, Evelyn?
Okay, so that was alertness, right?
Yeah. At 8.
Okay, so I got 3 8s,
Uh-huh.
a 10, and 2 1s.
Okay. So you got.
I'm not
2
quite sure what that does because I don't often get ones.
You subtract 1s, so ones
Okay.
are cancels.
So 2 successes then.
So 2 successes. All right. So what are you all looking for? What is
The grave.
The grave. And Joe, are you looking for the grave, or are you looking for?
I think I'm more focused on what's around us, like just keeping an eye out for anyone we might not be able to hear, because if no sound's coming in.
You can see that it doesn't appear there's anybody else in the graveyard this time of night. But if there was, it would be at that groundkeeper's shed, which you can see about 200 feet ahead of you on a slight rise in the hill. There is a candle burning outside of it on one of those old like hanging candlestick lamps. So there is a light lit ahead of you, and that catches your eye. If any place in this cemetery was going to have shovels, that would be it, but it would probably also have a person. The rest of you begin checking rows, and you can see that the cemetery, looking around between the two of you, Darcie and Evelyn, the cemetery is arranged very neatly. It only seems like it opened a couple of decades ago, but it's filling up fast. However, that means that it's pretty easy to find where the newer plots are. And before long, you find yourself in the most recent row of plots. You start heading that direction, and Josephine, as you see that, you turn just to check on your allies and things, and you'll see that Chastity has vanished. Chastity, taking a few steps, as you are making it to one of those newer rows, you're going to take a wrong step. You're going to take 2 points of bashing damage as you fall 6 feet down a hole.
Okay. All right.
You're going to fall hard and crank your head against the side of some rocks at the bottom, and are going to have a little bit of a bleed coming down the side of your head. And your white outfit is absolutely ruined with mud.
When I notice Chaz is missing, I'm going to like smack somebody's arm who's near me, since I know they can't hear me.
Okay.
I don't know who's like right near me, but I'm gonna smack
I'll
someone.
say Evelyn is the nearest to you.
Okay, wait, so you smack her?
I smack her arm, like tap her arm. Pointing around, looking like, where's Chaz?
You guys need to learn sign language.
Evelyn's gonna look around and then mouth, "Where's Chastity?"
And suddenly nearby, you're going to see a muddy gloved hand whoop, out of a grave. This is the one time you can all get away with screaming. And nobody will know. Oh god, I wish Teddy was
Evelyn
here.
will shriek silently and then do the, "Oh, there she is, I found her," sort of a look.
If Darcie sees Chastity looking bloody, she's gonna go over and like kind of like dust her off and just cast a quick heal there to take away that bashing.
Sounds good. What are you doing, Amy? You raise your hand?
I was just wondering if that was Chastity, because we hadn't talked about her climbing out yet, so.
I assume that you're gonna try to.
I'm gonna try to, absolutely.
Okay, so that will be you.
Cool.
Can I
When it
get
eventually happens.
can I get a strength and athletics roll to climb out of a grave?
Yep, alright.
Can
Diffi-
Darcie or
I have
Joe,
no
like,
athletics.
reach
Not on the
her?
first roll.
Okay.
We'll say Darcie
I'm
will.
gonna say this is
try.
gonna
What's
be
my difficulty for this?
Difficulty 7. You're in a dress and it's wet.
Well, she's not actually in a dress. She is in
Oh, pardon me. You're in
riding pants.
You're in
but
riding
they are
pants. It
kind
is
of-
wet.
Yeah. It's a 9 and a 7.
Okay, so you'll start climbing out, and Joe and Darcie are going to be able to kind of catch you under your underarms and kind of pull you out the rest of the way with a decent amount of ease. You are absolutely covered in muck and completely
and
silent.
her mouth is just running constantly. You have no idea what she's saying.
Darcie will see blood and just kind of like grab some herbs out from her bag and just start like sprinkling them and like pasting like a bit with the wetness and just try and like paste them on her. And she's muttering things in Gaelic.
Just gonna
but-
try and like push her, like wave her off to some extent, because like, what the fuck is going on here? Just climbed out a grave.
right?
He's gonna try and get some of the mud off her, just like
you know what? It doesn't feel like you're making any progress because you're not hearing the sound of it slopping on the ground, but it's coming off. It's at least she's not wearing a dress, but that blouse is definitely damaged. However, everybody else, actually, Darcie, you said you're going to try to heal her, so give me an Arete roll. Difficulty of, if you're healing somebody else, that's life 3. Difficulty of, it's only bastard damage. How many effects do you have up?
I have 2.
Okay, difficulty of 7, please.
And then -2 for the cyclical magic
Yep,
right now.
thanks for reminding me about that.
You're welcome. So 5, right?
Yep.
7 -2, yeah, 5. Oh, darn it. 10 and that 1 cancel each other out, but I rolled a 9 for the other, so 1 success equals 2 level of bashing. So
All
you will hear that 2 levels of bashing, Chas.
2
As
levels of...
your wound heals up underneath the herbs, and they'll crack off, and you'll have healed. And Darcie will kind of just be like miming, like, that's what I was trying to do.
All right. Turning, you can see that there are quite a few graves silhouetted by the moon. One of which, as you take a peek around, is Dr. Saxon's. The grave is fresh. The ground hasn't even had a chance to settle. There's a bit of a lump of just overturned earth on top. Behind it, a broad gravestone, a bit more decorated than the rest. Unlike the others, which are simple slabs with stars of David, or one has a broad menorah across it. It seems a grandfatherly figure had that. This has it has a bit of opulence to it. Not much. But above it, you'll see there are a pair of angels carved into the side of the tombstone. One of them is, well, they're both cherubic. The one on the left is curling around the tombstone. In its hand, it's holding a dagger. The other, clinging to the right side of the tombstone as you face it, has a small serpent winding around its left arm. What do you do?
Chastity's gonna get a closer look at the tombstone out of curiosity.
All right. It says it has the dates of life and death, which say that he was 38 years old when he died. His birthday was November 7th. And he is beloved husband and scholar.
Is this the Darcie will go towards the snake? Does it look like you said it's winding around him, so it's like, is it winding like kind of like wrapping upwards, or is it like eating itself?
No, not anything like that.
Okay.
So this angel's kind of like clinging to it, kind of like a baby would cling to the side of something like that. The snake is wrapping its way down the cherub's forearm and poking its head just barely out next to its thumb, as if it was a second thumb.
Oh, okay.
So it is quite a small snake, about the size of a gardener snake.
Is there any is that any sort of religious symbol that
You can try to figure it out. You can give me
Yeah,
an intelligence and a cult roll, both of you, if you'd like.
Can I do intelligence and theology?
Yes, you may.
What is esoterica again? I forget because I have those dots.
Esoterica. You know what? I always forget because they added that in M20. Does anybody have it off the top of their head? I can check the book otherwise.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but why don't I check the book while you...
That sounds good.
Yeah.
It's like I'm almost at it, but my Adobe keeps running out of memory, and I don't know why. So I've taken to opening things in Chrome instead of. It's weird.
What was the difficulty for theology?
That is going to be for general stuff. Let's say it is difficulty of 7.
I have a single 10, but and no ones.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I would look it up, but it's not loading. It's
Right.
a big book.
Looking through
And
one
my
of the
physical copy's over there somewhere.
58 things.
Okay, I'm just checking one thing real quick.
I cannot wait until I'm back in my actual
Esoteric
place.
knowledge comes in many forms: astrology, angelography, fortune telling, yoga, herbalism, demonology, lore of stones, secret coded language of the occult.
Okay.
We suggest practices and instruments for your magical focus. This traits overall reflects your general knowledge of arcane subjects, unlike occult knowledge, which reflects understanding of secret history.
So I mean, either would work for me.
Okay. I don't have occult, so I would rather use esoteric.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
If you allow that. Perfect.
So in Christian mythology, of course, Amy, using your theology, Chastity would know that it is, I mean, the first villain of the Bible is, of course, the snake, the serpent representing, depending on which interpretation, we'll say Satan is the easiest. But you will also, with one success, know that Satan's a fairly complex character, depending on which version of your theology you look into. Whether or not an angel sent to test humanity, or the literal, whether he is the opponent of mankind or the opponent of God, is all about interpretation. The dagger is a fairly common symbol, but what you will gather off of this is that they're less, well, the dagger and the snake aren't really paired together in any Jewish mythology or any Jewish scripture that you've heard of. But maybe you're just not learned about, about the Hebrew faith. Like, you might want to hit a library. And what did you get, Darcie?
2.
2. So looking at this, oh man, it could be a number of things. So this type of, it could be about scrying. It could be about, can't remember the name right now. It could be about divination through guts, which is the name I'm forgetting right now. It is not herpetology. What is it? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
So it could very much be about reading the history and probably reading the future using the snake's guts. It could be about fertility is always a big one. And theoretically, it could be something meant to ward off evil. Then again, it could be Kabbalah, which you know very little about, but know that there is a fairly more cultish branch of Jewish originating belief systems that are a bit more secret society based.
Also, it's hieromancy. I just looked it up.
Thank you. Like herpology, like no, that's derpology you're thinking of, Kelly. The last thing that I will say to you as well, anybody who gets a look at this can make me just an intelligence roll. And we'll say difficulty of 6 on this, just to get a hint. 2. Okay. 2. Okay. Anybody who gets any successes on this will think, well, I mean, it also could be theoretically, if he was one of these skeleton keys, it did sound like spies. Could be connected to that. The dagger could, at least, for sure. Especially if they were basically internal affairs, which is what kind of the way that Evelyn painted it to you. Of course, you can't really share this information because you can't hear anything.
That's true.
So Josephine's kind of like thinking that we need to get to the digging, and is going to is actually going to, I think, tap someone, whoever's closest to her, and say, or and kind of mime shovel, and then like point at herself and that she's going to go look. And I don't know if that'll break the effect on which side that'll break the effect on, whether it'll break it on me or whether it'll break it on them.
If you cancel your side of the effect?
If I leave.
It's cast on you, it's cast on each of you individually.
Okay. That's what I wasn't sure if it was an area or if it was a...
It's not. It's not.
Cool.
It's individual.
Cool.
All right.
Then, yeah, so I'm just going to like motion that I'm going to go check out the hut where the light is for a shovel.
Sounds good. Anybody following along with her?
Joss will go too.
Okay. The two of you make your way across the cemetery, and soon you'll find yourself standing directly next to it. It's a small building, roughly a 10-foot by 10-foot shack with a rickety door on the front of it that it was probably not the place that the cemetery spent most of its money. We'll put it that way. It's sturdy enough to withstand the Victorian rain, but already it is caked with grime and soot. It has a single window at the back, a small one, a box window about the size of a loaf of bread. And in front it has a single door, a simple one, with a key lock. A candle is dangling from the front perch on a hook.
Is it possible to just kind of look around the outside of the building to see if there's something outside?
Sure. Go ahead and make me a perception and alertness roll.
Cool. Difficulty 6?
Difficulty of this 6. Pardon me, difficulty of 8 because it's dark everywhere except for where that candle is.
There. 1 success.
Okay.
It was a 10.
Doing a quick peek around, you will round the corner, and around the back, right beneath that window, your foot will just bump up against something. Leaning in the shadow of the door, or pardon me, of the back frame of the shed, you will find a shovel.
I'm gonna pick it up and, like, I don't know if Chastity followed me around, but show it.
Shrug and try and see if there's another one or if that's the only one.
Looking around the place, you can make a quick check, finding that it is the only one outside of the shed right now. You can try inside.
How difficult does it look like to get into this place? I know you said it was locked and there was a little window.
I didn't say it was locked.
There was a lock.
There is a lock.
Okay.
I would also remind you, this is the Victorian era. Locks are about this big. You can look through keyholes.
She's gonna do that, yeah, totally.
Okay. All right, make me a perception and alertness roll to see how much you can gain from this. You will see that there is a person on the other side immediately, though.
Chassie's gonna look over at Josephine and go, and then realize how pointless that was. And then, yeah, okay. Well, I don't think I succeeded because that's a 9, a 2, and a 1.
9, 2, 1. Okay. So you glancing in, you can see there's a person inside sitting on a stool. And it looks... Yeah, there's somebody inside of there. You can see that for sure. But what you're focusing on is that on this person's lap, leaning against it, is a shovel.
Just try the door to see if it's locked.
Okay. It is not locked and opens easily. Inside of this small shed, which is lined with gardening tools, as well as a number of hoes, rakes, and a number of burlap sacks for taking away some of the things that are trimmed off, leaves and so on, as well as some watering cans and pickaxes to help break up earth for removal. There is what appears to be a groundskeeper. He's leaning up against a little workbench on the right-hand side, and is convulsing slightly. His back is raising, and you can see that there is a bottle of gin that is tipped over and slowly dripping onto the ground.
She's gonna carefully approach.
Okay.
I'm guessing
Josephine's
his back is to her
also-
and like.
He is just kind of, he's facing you. He
Okay.
has his head buried in his arms, kind of curled up like nap time at school.
Just gonna kind of carefully go around so that maybe if he looks up, maybe he won't see her.
Okay, you can move to one side. This shovel has fallen directly across his lap.
Is he is he seizing kind of thing? Like,
No,
is
it seems like, honestly, if you take a good look at him, you think he's snoring really loudly, but you can't hear him. Like, his back is trembling as he's going. He, taking a quick look at the situation, you think that he is blind drunk inside of this, snoring like a blind drunk, but it is the strangest image to not have sound with this.
Okay, so Chaz definitely first thought that he was sobbing uncontrollably.
That's what it looks like.
Worried.
Josephine thought that he was demon possessed and was going to hit him with a shovel.
This is also doable.
So, Chaz is gonna kind of carefully approach and is like, gonna try and put him to sleep with a mind effect if she can.
Okay. How do you do this? Do you just, like, you know, all that's good, all that's light, time to say nighty-night?
Sure.
Okay, you say a prayer.
Yeah.
I am going to give you a +3 difficulty because you can't hear your voice.
Okay. Cool.
This is going to be difficulty of his willpower +3 for a mind effect. So go ahead and give me an arete roll. Tell me what you get. And let's find out what his willpower is. No, it's not that.
Okay, so I got a 7, a 5, and a 1. So I'm really hoping that it's like maybe a 5 so that the 7 still gets across, but I'm not optimistic.
Okay.
So she's gonna say a prayer and she's gonna kind of like reach out to like kind of like touch his head.
He is as you touch his head with the prayer, he's going to jerk upright, look at you with one dangling eye. The other one seems to be off kilter in its socket, saucering back and forth drunkenly, impossibly drunkenly and drowsy. He'll look at you, his lower lip quivering and just dripping drool.
I'm gonna hit him with a shovel.
Okay. Make me a strength and melee roll, please.
I feel like Chas jumped when he jerked up, and she's also gonna jump again when this shovel comes down.
You can use dex and melee if you prefer as well, but I feel like this just shoveling directly in the face is strength and melee.
With a very muted, what the fuck?
Difficulty 6, right?
Difficulty 5.
Oh, even with that, I botch.
Okay. Chastity, I'm going to roll a die between you and Josephine. Joe, are you high or low?
Low.
I mean, Chas is high right now.
Okay.
vaguely.
All right. Chastity, can you do me a favor and make me a soak roll again?
I just healed you up. I just healed you up.
And Joe, make me strength plus 1. I'll treat this as a
And-
small club.
Soak is 6.
Yeah, difficulty 6, stamina.
Okay. I have a single 10. The other was
I
a
did
fail.
0
Not one.
damage.
You did 0 damage? Okay,
Yeah.
so you'll soak it, but you'll just feel the side of a shovel crank you in the back of the head. And the guy's going to jerk up and is going to pass out directly against you. High or low is good for you.
Which one of us?
Chastity.
I?
How mature do you want this?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. He'll like look at you and lean forward and fall asleep kind of on your hip, kind of like face plants directly into your side. It just, because I'm not Joss Whedon.
And head, shoulders, push.
And he's gonna eat like a sack of potatoes. He's just gonna. Oh, sorry.
She'll mumble quietly.
A silent
And-
sack of potatoes.
And we'll grab the shovel.
Okay. Grabbing the shovel. Is there anything else that you want to grab from here? Anything else you want to look around the room for?
I'm gonna look around. If he's unconscious now, then yeah.
Sure. Give me a perception and alertness roll just to see what's here. This is lit inside of here by a single candle. That is getting dangerously close to that that puddle of gin. But
I will also look around.
so give me a difficulty 6.
very quickly.
Come on, stop. There we go.
Oh, good.
I rolled a die twice and it landed cocked
Both
twice.
times.
10, 10, 1. I think one
Oh,
of them
wow.
is passes.
2 successes.
Nice. All right, looking around, you can detect a couple of quick things inside of here. The first are just some general documents that are saying like this needs to be dug tonight in really basic English. This location. Glancing, you can see that there are some old ones that are kind of spiked nearby that say like which places have need to be dug out. It says that the one for Saxon's grave was dug out about 6 days ago for the service. He was buried 5 days ago. Nothing really important there. You'll find that the man has like a hinged pocket knife on him if you check his pockets. You'll also find that he has a billfold protruding from his pocket. Well, I wouldn't say billfold, but he has a bit of coinage on him. He has no less than 9 pence and 4 shillings. Which is actually pretty good. It's about $100, maybe more. He also has an extra bottle of gin and a half-finished one that's dribbling off the counter.
Chastity's gonna grab the gin.
Josie's gonna grab both the money and the knife.
Okay, sounds good. So you can do American-style hinged knife to your character sheet. And also add those shillings. And I just want to know something real quick. Victorian. Okay, so Victorian money converter, which is actually a website. Okay, so how much did I say? I said 3 shillings.
Holy crap.
I think you said
That's a lot of money.
You said 4 shillings.
yeah, and 9 pence, I think.
Is that a lot? Because like right now I have a pound is 85 US dollars according to this.
Yes, because also you have to remember that they would have been paid wages in shillings. They wouldn't have been paid in pounds.
So
Not likely.
One mid-19th century pound is 85 US dollars to date. So a shilling, how many shillings in a pound?
I don't know off the top of my head.
10, I think. I think it's 10 shillings to a pound.
Is it? I thought it was something... Oh, sorry, pardon me. It's 1 pound is 20 shillings.
Oh, okay.
So that's about 40 bucks of modern US dollar currency.
Cool.
Yeah, it's money.
It's money, and Josie's not from here.
If Chastity notices that Josephine is stealing this person's money, she's gonna give a rather disapproving expression because you just assaulted a guy and stole his money.
Technically, she assaulted you.
It's true.
Well, yeah.
I did, however, steal his money.
If she notices. I don't know that she did.
Fair. Josie, I don't think Josie would understand the look if you gave it to her, though.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. Well, you've got 2 bottles of gin. Well, you've got one and a third bottle of gin.
Rough annual income is £20 for a working class person.
Cool. That's... Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said wow. Because also levels of...
Because I only said... I didn't say pounds. I said shillings and pence.
Yes, I know. But 4 shillings, if you only make £20 in a year...
Oh, yeah, fair.
4 shillings is a lot of money. Because also I'm pretty sure the level of robbery was based on how many shillings it was worth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if it was over 20 shillings, you got the death penalty up until about that got abolished.
So I'm fine then.
It's fine.
Josie will also blow out the candle before they leave.
Okay, good. You see, you didn't murder him. That's probably great.
Right?
That's always good. All right, so grabbing those things. Is there anything else that you two are doing to each other on the way back?
No.
No, I think we're both carrying a shovel.
Because ow.
It does. Yeah. It does hurt a bit. It doesn't damage you, but it did rattle the old noggin a bit. Meanwhile, back at the tombstone, what are the two of you doing in silence?
How long has it been? How long have they been gone, roughly?
That adventure took about 10 minutes, I'm going to say.
I think after 5 minutes, Darcie is going to just start looking at other graves in, like, the close vicinity to Evelyn, just reading because she's curious, and is getting a little bit bored in the silence.
Hold on. Okay, so looking around, the Schliemans are 2 down, then the Reislers are right next to that. There's a lot of similarity in a lot of these gravestones here. Let's see. No, they wouldn't put that on a gravestone. I was going to say that one of them, because they used to put like really funny things on gravestones, but the best I could come up with on the fly for a dumb Jewish cemetery graveyard is he would have been the rabbi's foil. So that's why he got work as a moil or something like that. Like, it just doesn't really work. Doesn't work.
From cradle to dreidel? I don't know.
From cradle to dreidel. From rave to grave.
I think at some point too, Bram will scare Darcie at some point just by brushing up in the silence, and just like Darcie's gonna jump again in the being like.
He meows in silently at you. In silence at you.
And then, yeah, Darcie will just kind of keep an eye out for them in the general direction, just kind of waiting.
Probably see the candle go out.
And then a moment or two later, they are going to make their way back. All right. As you reassemble with the 2 shovels, I'm going to say that for a grave like this, you could have brought some extra tools, but you can really only have 2 people working in the dark safely.
Jazz is immediately gonna shove one of the shovel she's carrying into Darcie's hands, just like.
Her hair's a bit messed up.
motions like, don't even ask. Just eyes glance over to Josephine, and there's kind of just like a frown.
All right.
Gonna start digging.
All right. So I need a strength plus, a stamina plus athletics roll.
Oh, darn, real. You.
I will lower your difficulty. What's your strength at, Robin?
5.
I'll lower your difficulty to 6 for that.
And I put it to my specialty is raw power.
Okay, I'll put your difficulty down to 5 for this. But Joe, you're going to be at 7 because shoveling a grave is tiring work. And Chastity, what's up?
Chastity, because this is probably going to take a little bit, Chast would like to use some sort of mind and time effect on herself to make this feel like it goes longer.
Okay.
She just wants to speed it up.
Okay, go ahead and make me an arete roll at a difficulty of 4 for you. Tell me if you botch, because that'll be fun. Okay, so 7. All right, you are making your way down, digging fast. Earthworms pass, and you're grave-bound. Did you just botch?
I want to check. I got a 6, a 1, and a 1.
You did not.
Nope.
You did. You only botched if we're using the rules that I learned Mage on, which was ones are the enemy. But instead, you just fail. You just fail, and this draws out impossibly long. You spend about between the two of you, you make a really good time digging at this. You are I'm gonna say that's about a half hour worth of work right now, and you're about 4 feet deep. Evelyn.
So while they're doing this, Evelyn's going to be keeping an eye out for anybody approaching, etc. Things that we might not hear coming up, because she's gonna kind of try and avoid digging too much.
Okay.
She's not particularly good at that sort of thing.
Sounds good. All right, so you are going to go ahead and keep an eye around the area. Make me a perception and alertness roll. Difficulty 7. All right, and as you are doing that, make me one more stamina plus athletics roll.
Now, I'm guessing detail-oriented does not come into this.
Not for this. This would be more like alert or something like that, but still good.
So if I'm not using the specialty, then I don't do the reroll, right?
You don't do rerolls, no.
Cool. I just want to be sure.
I have 6 dice for this roll, and I got 5 successes. So.
Damn, I have 5 dice. I would have had 7.
Wow. Okay. Well, damn. Let's wait to see if anybody snuck up on you. Christine, how'd you get? 3 successes. Okay, and Chastity, you are sitting next to the grave drinking gin.
Yeah, she's kind of annoyed that this is going to take us so long, so she's going to swig some of the gin and just try and analyze this tombstone a bit more.
All right, sounds great. Just taking a nice look at it. Do you have anything on you could take a rubbing?
Not really.
Okay.
Evelyn has a notebook, if you remember that.
Yeah, she'll try and mime the, like, poke Evelyn's shoulder, just, like, mime writing something, like, point at tombstone, just, like, I think.
She'll offer her a sheet of paper, and I'm thinking she uses charcoal sticks and pencils for the most part.
Grab.
Probably shave away enough to be able to use the charcoal for that.
And she'll go and see what she can do.
Okay. So you'll be able to take an etching. I'm not going to require a roll for that. And as you're in the middle of doing that, the other two are going to startle you both quite badly. Can I get both of you to do me a favor and just make me a dexterity and... Oh, pardon me, a wits and athletics roll.
Me and Chastity?
You and Chastity.
And if no athletics, does that do anything?
It doesn't, just roll wits.
Okay.
You're looking at difficulty of 6.
Yeah, 1. Yay.
I rolled 3 10s.
Okay. You are both going to not eep as suddenly you're going to hear... as the shovels make contact with the coffin beneath, and the spell
Wait, we can
ends.
hear it?
The spell ends. Yep, it's been a
Oh.
scene.
Yep.
Ah, okay, that would be startling, yes. All of a sudden having hearing rush back.
Mhm.
And suddenly the night is alive with the sound of distant noise and meow. Sorry, nothing was happening before then.
Yeah, we put a silent spell on Bram.
I think we found it.
Bran. Why do I keep saying Bram? Your name is Bran, I'm sorry.
Bram.
Could you do a favor and keep an eye out with your feline eyes?
Feline eye, he says.
Right.
I lost this in the
Ow.
war. And he's going to hop on a tombstone and start jumping from tombstone to tombstone.
Right.
Identified with a couple dogs.
Are the straps that they
heard
used to lower that still there?
Now here's the thing. Who's down in the hole cleaning the grave off? Okay. This caught you slightly off guard because it's not smoothly in the hole. As you look down at it, you're going to see that it's actually quite a bit off kilter, as if it were dropped rather suddenly. In fact, as you brush it off, you'll see that the top of the wood has a few gouge marks in it. It's a coffin, wooden, pine, with bite marks, little crescent circles. Well, not quite full circles, but like toenail clippings, punched into the top of the casket. Not dissimilar to the tips of your shovels.
Did they reuse a coffin?
One of the two ropes that had been used to lower it is still there, but it's partly buried. The other does not appear to be there at all. It looks like, I don't know, perhaps maybe the rope snapped when they were lowering it the first time.
Okay, based on how we unearthed this, would it at all be possible to just kind of like shove our feet into the walls and then like crack it open?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping
like
to
a
do
Slim
that
Jim.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Chas is like on the edge trying to like peer into the darkness, like, what is going on?
Okay, I would like, give me a strength. This is going to be one of the rare times I do this. This is a strength plus stamina roll. It is only used on sheer tests of athletic bodily might.
Gonna grab my 8 dice.
Okay, and this you're just looking for 6s.
Cool, but would raw power count for my
Yes.
specialty? Wow, I'm really glad I rolled 110 at least, because boy, out of the initial 8, I have 2 successes from 8.
2? Okay.
And 2 for me.
Okay. Putting your back against the wall and thrusting your legs in. You're going to put your backs into it. Fully pressing against the coffin in front of you. It's going to resist you. The weight of the remaining earth and where it's perched at that odd angle is going to put gravity against you. But a moment later, there is a sickening crunch of wood. And the casket is going to snap open, firing dirt up into the air that's going to sludge onto both Chastity and Evelyn's dresses. Well, your whites. And inside of the coffin, which is lined with cheaply made white linen, is nothing at all. I think this is probably a good place for us to take a quick break. Well, hello there, and welcome back to Mage the Ascension the Victorian Age. Let's do a quick talk to the chat, 5 minutes max, because I need to get into the action. Mostly, I just want to tell everybody that I love seeing you. I love being back. It is so warm in this room. I stream out of the warmest room in the house, apparently. And I'm very not happy to be wearing a 3-piece suit right now, I'll tell you that.
I am very happy that we only stream our upper bodies.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. I'm only wearing part of a 3-piece suit, I'll be honest. I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah, I'm wearing shorts too. It's great.
I'm wearing like capri legging type things. I've never actually worn these ones before. They're comfy. It's good.
It's pretty
I'm
good.
also wearing leggings. Very comfy.
Bracarius in the chat asks if there's an NPC named 5 Minutes Max. That's
There
your
is
next
now.
character, Breck. 5 Minutes
That's
Max.
amazing.
Thank you for volunteering.
Also, Breck, thank you so much for volunteering to come and join us for Extra Life this year. It's going to be fantastic to have you there, guys. Anybody who is watching, please go and follow twitch.tv/Bracarius or Bracarius if you're nasty. You got to really let me know, Breck, how you like it pronounced, because no one has ever told me. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Breck does a lot of games with some of our cast members, and is going to be running a permutation of one of his games from his channel for Extra Life. It's going to be a lot of fun. So other things about Extra Life. So Extra Life is coming up sometime in the next, it's going to be 2 months from basically last week. So I hope you all come to that. It's going to be fantastic. We're organizing it right now and seeing how many games we can run. I'm going to try to make this year's Extra Life a little bigger and better than last year. And if there's anything in particular you want, particularly anything you want me to run, I'm going to be putting up a poll soon on Patreon where you can vote for it. And it's going to be fun. I've got tons of games. And
Breck said, sounds like air. So
Precarious.
precarious.
Precarious. Okay, cool. So that's going to be
Rhymes with precarious.
Rhymes with Precarious.
And nefarious.
Yeah. So, and if you are watching and you are a player, please fill out the Extra Life form I sent you, so then we can decide how many slots we're doing. It's gonna be a lot of
I'm
fun.
also hoping to run.
You are also. I'm gonna play in that. It's gonna be fun. I am also very excited because I recently received a couple of things in the mail that I'm very excited about running. Can I reach them without messing my back up? Yes, I can reach this one. So this came
Ooh.
in the mail
Okay,
after
yeah.
quite a while. It's 10 candles. I also have a copy of what else came. I picked up my own copy of They Came from Beyond the Grave. And I'm very excited about that. Jen, I don't think you know anything about this game. It uses...
Not really.
Okay, so you know the Scion engine, like the Storypath engine?
Yeah.
This is the game that should have been released with it first. It's
okay.
all of the kinks have pretty much been worked out of it. The game is written incredibly smoothly. And the game is about telling B movies. Instead of momentum, you have rewrites because you're also a writer on these B movies, and you can use them to alter scenes. Like this is for example, you're in a church set, and oh no, zombies are coming through the door, and we're just a bunch of school children. Okay, I spent 4 rewrites for filmed on the same set. This was also the scene of an Alamo cowboy movie, and now we have guns.
That's
Like,
amazing.
It's so
Nice.
good. It's so much fun. I played 2 games of it at onyxpath, and we're trying to schedule the finale of the second game that I was in with Robin. And
Nice.
it's a lot of fun, guys. It's really cool. They've got one for each era of cinema, basically. Like they came from Camp Murder Lake and ones like that. So I'm gonna see if I can get a couple of our usual people to start running it, because I think that James would do really well with it.
Probably, yeah.
It's so good for one shots and like short runs that like he really would have fun. It's basically what he's been running for his hunter game. And then I also have been getting a bunch of stuff from Free League. They've been sending me like all sorts of stuff because I'm on their press list for some reason, which is great because they have super good games and a lot of new stuff for their Alien engine. And other games that I'm really interested in playing with y'all. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Random Equinox, you should totally check it out. You can actually still watch the VOD. The VOD of my play with Robin is over on Occultus Anonymous, their videos. It's really obvious which one it is because I look like I'm an extra from the show Minx. Like big chest hair. It's great. All right, so the last thing that I want to go over real quick before we head back into game is a quick reminder that if you are considering joining the Patreon, today and tomorrow might be a good chance. We are at 86 patrons right now. At 100, I'm going to start work on our own setting book, basically like a Tasha's Cauldron style book or a Ravnica book, but for our homebrew setting, which can be a hell of a lot of work, but that's what you're paying for. We're also going to be doing more releases of homebrew content. You'll also get pre everyone access to Dork Tales the podcast, which is going into its first episode of recording on Friday this week. We're doing a massive session that's going to be broken down into smaller episodes, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Happy Canada Day, y'all.
Happy Canada Day. Time to lock ourselves in a room and roleplay.
Yeah.
And
the best Canada Day, honestly.
Yeah. I don't want to
Honestly,
be
that
out.
would be great.
Who needs
I'm not
fireworks?
going
I'm
anywhere.
going to be camping, so.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, Denman Island. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
That's really nice.
Ooh.
Because you needed to be on a smaller island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
But
less
there's
people.
archery and thrown weapons there, so I don't mind.
Also sounds good.
Is it going to be called the Elos Opus? No, it's going to be called Edagon's Tower of Everything, probably, because it's great.
Thank you, Random and Professor Multiverse.
All right, so that's
Yay,
2
XP.
XP for you. All right, and the last thing I was going to say about that, though, is that it's a special day to join the Patreon because everyone in the $5 tier and up not only gets access to the podcast, they get their name at the end of the episodes, they get a ton of cool stuff like that. You also are going to be able to watch our brand new series, Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos, which is the D&D high school or D&D university game starring a bunch of cool people who you will be able to see who's in it if you're on our Patreon. And at the $5 tier, you're going to get access to it, I think, about 3 months before everyone else. Episode 0 is going to be broadcast live tomorrow via a secret YouTube link, and then it's going to be premiered for everybody else in a few months because we don't hold back. I don't like to keep content away from people, so you'll eventually get it. But if you want it now, like $5 a month is not even a cup of coffee these days. It's not even a cup of gas. It almost is not a cup of gas. It is 2 liters of gas. That is so disgusting.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh my god,
One more.
that's so gross.
To be
One
fair,
more
it's 3
experience.
liters of gas because of the exchange rate.
Mm.
So not even a gallon of gas.
I had a moment today where I saw what the gas price was, and I was like, "Oh, it's gone down." And then when it's still $2.15, I should
Yeah.
be
I
happy
literally
about
had that conversation with my coworkers. We're like, "Oh, gas went down."
Well, and I texted you when I was out. I was like, Robin, this one's gone down to 2.15. Get it.
Yep.
Because it was
Oh.
2.40 the other day someplace. It was ridiculous.
And with Canada Day coming up, I expect it to jump again.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, and thank you very much, Soul. Fun, quick announcement. Don't forget to go to Bones Coffee and use code Bones Coffee. They now have cold brew pods. If you use code, go to Bones Coffee, use code DorkTales, and you'll save 10% on your purchase, and you'll throw 10% toward me. Which is really nice. They do free shipping in the US over $75. Their coffee's really worth it. I would be drinking it right now, but it's bloody hot. I need to make some cold brew with it. If you at me on Discord, I will tell you which flavors to get. I will tell you which flavors not to get. Don't get the mystery flavor. I'm sorry, Bones. It's not good. Krista likes it, I think. I don't like it.
It was not good.
It's chocolate praline pecan, and that's not great.
I
If
think
you
the
like
Fraley-
some
Some people
traditional
would like it,
flavors, the chocolate
but-
hazelnut is delicious.
Chocolate
This is from
hazelnut's good.
somebody who does not drink drip coffee.
Yeah. So
It is delicious.
also, I'll tell you something about Bones Coffee next week when it's confirmed. But basically, they like us. They like me a lot. They like me enough. They might actually send me free coffee which is nice because I buy a lot of coffee. And they have
Yeah.
cold brew pods, and they're getting cold brew pods of other flavors besides s'more time, and I really want them. But shipping to Canada is unbelievably expensive.
Wait, they have s'more time?
That's the cold brew. Those are the cold brew pods. They only have that
You
one
didn't
flavor.
tell me that. I thought it was just plain cold brew.
No. It's the s'more flavored ones. Because we have the s'more flavored coffee in the cupboard. You haven't tried it ever.
Not yet.
Hmm.
However, I'm more interested in cold brew to try.
It's seriously like this summer is gonna be rough.
We need to get more cold iced coffee pods from Nespresso too.
Yes. Were they good?
my
I know
morning coffee.
you drank all of them. I didn't ever have one.
It was over several weeks.
It was over several months, and we don't have any. We don't have an ice machine, so that's like probably why I didn't. But we need ice. Our place is
I'm making
very-
ice. Feel to take ice as long as you replace it with.
Was that a German accent? Viva take the ice.
No, that was me stumbling over my own tongue.
I
So,
think it was German. You German, you.
as long as you refill the ice tray. Don't be like my coworker's boyfriend and take it all and leave one ice cube in it.
All right.
And act like that's saving ice for her.
I mean, technically, just saying. All right, so with that, I think it's time to hop back into the game. Thanks very much for your patience. Tonight's going to be a little shorter, just because I need to give my back a break. You know, like Batman and Bane.
Also, buy dice from Adventure Dice too. We like
I
them.
got to make a slide for it. I'll put it on. I got a list for tonight. Hold on. Adventure
Because they're pretty awesome and
Dice.
they're local for us. So I always love to support. I mean, Bones for Coffee is great too.
Yeah.
But I also you gotta support the Vancouver place, and they have the dice subscriptions and the advent calendar, which is
That's
pretty freaking cool.
And I'm going to say this like I say to everybody, if you are somebody who is working on anything in the role-playing industry, or are looking to collaborate with a stream and you have a good product, reach out to me. You can find my contact info pretty easily through Discord, or you can just kelly@dorktales.ca, and yeah, we'll talk. So long as you have something that is genuinely good, that I feel good advertising, come talk to us. I'm happy sharing it with people for a good price and a good product. And that way I can get better art and stuff like that, because our art for Strixhaven is so good. It's really good. Also, actually, I'm gonna say this real quick before we head back to game. Go to if you need art done for a stream, I really cannot strongly suggest the artist for our Mage the Ascension game. It's not updated here yet. The artist we have on the stream is from a lovely artist named Eve. However, we have just gone with a new artist to do updated versions of the characters. The artist is named Brahahaga. So I'm going to link their Twitter here, and I really thank you so much, Traz. That was super quick. And Robin, I really strongly suggest, if you need really good like watercolor looking, like kind of like cell shaded art, dude, Brahahaga was super quick, very reasonably priced, and really works with you on going back and like revising things. If you're like, I don't quite like the way this looked, or I wanted a little more of this, like, happy to do extra work for you. So long as you're fair with them. It's we are so lucky to have such good experiences with artists. I just want to say, like, hey, Liz is a good friend now. All of Kiyoshuki's stuff is great, and I think Kiyoshuki's finally back from doing a ton of work. So if you need to reach out to her again, Robin, I know you were looking to get some stuff done.
Mm-hmm. I also really want to was Brahaga the chibi artist too?
Brahaga was not the
different
chibi
one.
artist. The chibi artist we're on backlog because the chibi artist is overbooked.
Yeah.
Because
I was gonna say with our mage ones,
Yes.
like a couple of the times, like when we got the color, we were all like, there's a couple of things where they didn't quite work as we envisioned them as we went from line art to color. And the fixes were just fantastic.
Yeah, and they were like quick too. Like it was like all of the, like, honestly, we just got our Strixhaven art from Brahahaga a week before I asked them for it, because I had a deadline of the 1st, and like I got all the files yesterday. It was like
Wow.
super, super good. Was really happy to work with Discord. So we just had a big Discord chat with them. It was like super good. I wish
Nice.
that all of the games I ran had the vibe that they do, because I would love to just keep that relationship going. But as I'm working on stuff for Spelljammer, I'm like, I need something that's a little more cartoonish for Spelljammer.
I think that's the thing is like you can have great relationships with artists that you use for, and like us promoting Brahahaga hopefully gets them more business. And
I hope they do.
And if you guys do use it and you want to say, hey, we saw your art on Dork Tales streams, and
Please
you know,
do.
if you want to give us like, you know, the referral code, basically, you know,
Just let them know that we're treating them okay. And seriously, like, go get some art done. Like, they do all sorts of fantasy art, all races, like anything you need. Like, really good. I don't know if they do portraits, but go for it. And I don't know if they do NSFW, if that's what you're into. Ask and throw money at the problem. It might solve it. Okay, and with that, I'm going to do one final thing. Everybody has their... how are people doing for willpower?
I have 3 willpower left out of 3, so I'm about half.
I haven't
2 of
used mine
5.
yet.
I think,
I think I'm still
fine
good.
because I think I might have gotten some back at one of the games or something, but
Nice.
I seem to be full or like fine.
Nice. Okay, all right. I'm just checking something super quick.
I do have a bunch of paradox.
I've got 3 paradox.
I'm at 6.
Oh, here's it's coming for you.
I have 3.
Just waiting for that straits hammer. Bam.
Bam.
It's so good. It's coming. It's coming.
I keep forgetting that if Bran is with me, he can potentially eat my paradox for me. It's one of the
That's true.
benefits of familiar.
I was just checking on another art order that I made. Okay, so folks, it is time to head back into game. Let's do this. Natural sabers. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, y'all ready for this? All right, heading back in 3, 2, welcome back to Mage the Ascension, the Victorian Age, here on Dork Tales. As you stand over the empty casket, the only light being the fat moon that's moving its way up the distant hill. The inside of the casket is entirely barren. However, you'll see there are a few stains on the inside, even in the dimness here. Maybe some of the dirt spilled in when you shoved the lid open.
I'm not the only one who's noticing the distinct absence of the dead body.
No, I am also noticing the fact that apparently the late Dr. Saxon was late to his own funeral as well.
They still buried the casket.
Apparently, though apparently a bit of a rough job, and
Can someone pass me a from my bag that's up there a candle? Should be a
Yes,
candle
sure.
in there.
Oh, grab one. Chas will go root around the bag.
There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. There's so many
I
random
think
items.
I found the candle. Here, just
and I'm just gonna use forces to light the candle because what else do you do when you're making?
That sounds great. Go ahead and make me an arete roll, difficulty of 4.
2 successes.
2 successes. I'm gonna just add a point of straights for that.
Cool. Yep, that's fine.
As you snap your fingers and the candle illuminates, and what you are going to see is the inside of the coffin has a splash of blood as you take a glance at the coffin, like, some things are definitely wrong here, but what exactly is wrong? I think this is time to enter investigation mode.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking around, you will have illumination inside of the coffin now, which will give you a good poke around. So, anybody who wants to can make me a perception and alertness roll for tiny details. Difficulty of 7 if you got the candles. Darcie, what's up?
I was wondering if I could try and use life magic to try and get anything out from from the blood at all, since her specialty is kind of using blood magic.
So unfortunately, the blood is definitely old enough that it's inert. It would be matter.
Okay.
Would be a matter thing.
Okay, a matter thing. Darn.
So, actually, you know what I'm going to have to say at this point? This is going to be an investigation roll, because you're looking for clues specifically. So, perception and investigation, please. If you do
Evelyn's
not...
gonna crouch at the side and kind of call down of like, have you found anything?
There's some blood here. And Josephine's actually going to reach out and touch it. And this might be because it's been long enough that it's inert as well. I can't use correspondence on it to link it to its owner, can I?
It would be difficult. You might be able to. Do you want
Okay.
to... Do you want to try to do that? Do you want to cut it out? It's on some of the lining.
I'm going to let Evelyn look at it first where it is, and then say I might be able to do something with this if I can cut it out.
All right, sounds good.
I'm still up on the edge because I don't think 4 of us are actually going to fit in a grave.
Mm-hmm.
I think Darcie will jump out at this point because rules wise, if you don't have
If you don't have a knowledge, you can't make a roll.
So Darcie will probably jump out, be like, I don't really know what to do and look for. I'll keep a lookout with Bran.
My
And
name is Bram.
I know. I don't know why I'm saying Bram now. It's really annoying.
Knowing to you, your cat says. All right,
Reach, Darcie, do you mind giving me a hand just to steady?
Of course.
And I will try and jump down delicately.
Chastity, you had a question before we continue.
I'm trying to look through in the book, but I'm trying to figure out if time 2 is enough for me to look back and see what happened.
Yes, it is.
Because Trass is kind of just like watching them investigate, and she's gonna look down at her bottle of gin that she's got, and she's looking down at the grave, and would like to, yeah, because I think we know what day it happened, so that might help me.
You know what day the grave was dug. Yep.
Yeah.
So you have an outer limit of when is the latest it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're going to start casting that.
Yes.
Okay, so to look back in time, that's a pretty basic time 2 effect. What you're going to do is time effects chart. If you're looking for an exact instance, it's pretty basic. So what you will need to do is give me a time effect at a difficulty of 4, please.
Okay. I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Sounds good. And that I'll just say that it takes you a couple minutes to cast this, so go ahead and roll that up. Evelyn, hopping down into the hole, I would like you to make me a perception, detail-oriented counts, and investigation roll.
Okay.
I do not have much investigation, but I have enough to be able to do it. Hot damn. I rolled 3 10s.
Oh,
One
God.
sec.
I was gonna say, and we have your dice, so as long as you're the one that rolls it.
What was the difficulty again?
Difficulty on that was gonna be 7, but how many did you get?
I'm not finished rolling 10s yet.
Holy shit.
Sorry, they keep exploding. Okay. 7.
7 successes?
Yes.
All right, you rolled
6
enough.
of which were 10s.
Okay, in the core book, investigation 5, it means you're Batman. So you're at least halfway to Batman with that. Good job. Or shall we say, the Dark Knight.
I can be the dark scientist.
The dark scientist. All right, I'll allow it. Okay, so hopping down, you're going to start tearing this thing apart for clues with your candle. Squatting down in the coffin. It does reek of death. You're going to gain that sense immediately. The smell of a corpse is present here, lingering inside of this sealed casket. The first thing that you're going to notice, though, is that buried in the dirt along the side of the casket where it was wedged in to the side, basically the side it fell on, was the hinge side. Pardon me, not the hinge side, but the actual, like, the door opened from the mouth of the side that hit the ground at an awkward angle. Looking at that, you are going to be able to determine there was once an ornate latch on it that has been shattered, likely by a crowbar. It has a couple of teeth marks in the front of the wood that have stripped it, ripping it away broadly. In the inside of this, you can see that there was, in fact, a body in here at one point. It smells of it. There was a bit of decay inside of here as well. Chastity, what did you get on your roll?
So if I'm just doing it for the one round of casting, that was 3 successes.
Okay, I will get back to you in a moment after this. There was actually, you know what? I have a very dramatic way to do this. So you're looking around, Evelyn. Meanwhile, Chastity, you take a drink and let your senses flow into the past. And as you do, you feel yourself sink down in to the time that has come. Shunk, shunk, shunk. How much more we got? Not much more. What is this, 4 feet? Oh, I never get used to this part. Shoulder back-breaking labor. We should have hired some of them immigrants to come do this. Do it for a few pennies on the, you know. Yeah, I know. Just lean in. Now we've got it. See, you shouldn't have been complaining there, Mr. Scott. We made it in without a problem. 2 large Cockney gentlemen are working over this grave. The grave, you'll notice at this point, well, the dirt is easy to move, but it's still back-breaking labor. The moon is hanging in the sky, and it's full. This must have been at least probably 4 days ago. The men look at it. Oh, look at this. Look at this nice lock they got here. Oh, how fancy. Hey, fuck the lock. They bring the shovel down once, twice, 3 times. Hand me that crowbar. One of them passes a crowbar down, jams it in, and fuck me, this is on tight. Kick it, move. I'm gonna kick it. Hey, don't kick it while I'm... The larger man kicks the crowbar while it's wedged, and there is a horrible, sickening crack. Oh, fuck, you've got my hand. Evelyn, you see there's a bit of dirt mixed in on the ground next to where this coffin once laid, as well as a thumb. Pardon me, I'm gonna back up because I realized that was something you asked not to be mentioned. There is, you'll find a bloody handkerchief at the bottom there. Yeah, sorry, forgot about that for a minute. It seemed the most logical thing, but
It's more, for me at least, it's more to do with like it deliberately happening.
Okay.
Or lingering on it, or a torture scene or something like that.
Okay. Do you want me to include it just because it makes
I am
more
fine
sense?
with that level of it just being a comment.
Okay.
That's
As
okay.
you'll find that buried in the dirt, a man's thumbnail. Okay. So there's no handkerchief, but there is a thumbnail. And Chastity, as we zoom back into the past in your vision, there's a significant amount of hushed swearing. What you want the coppers to hear? They ain't gonna come to no Jewish cemetery. Anybody who does is gonna get this upside the noggin. Oh, my fucking thumb. Get to work. Pop it open. Yeah, it'd be nice if I had both hands. They crack it open, and you can see a man who's had a ribbon tied around his throat where it's been cut. Beneath, you can see just the edging of where it was sealed with flesh wax. He's already sunken, starting to decompose. Yeah, he'll do nicely. In the ground less than a day. Perfect. Well, Mr. what was that say, Mr. Scott? What's wrong, Debs? Didn't learn your alphabets? Saxon. What's a guy named Saxon doing in a Jewish cemetery? Ah. You know their type. Like to hide in plain sight. Grab him. They grab him, and as they do, smaller man, Mr. Scott, begins to bleed out of his finger into the coffin. He tears a piece of the corpse's clothing off and uses it as a rag. And the two men grab Mr. Saxon, Dr. Saxon, I should say, and hoist him up, tossing him roughly like a rag doll. Looking up, you can see that there's a cart nearby. A bow-backed, gnarly horse plods the ground lazily, an old pull horse. And inside of the casket, inside of the back cart, you can see that they're, well, beneath a tarp that blocks most view, a woman's hand is dangling out. As pale as the moonlight. Now, Chastity, you do not need to be a well-learned scholar to know what resurrection men are.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that that was common knowledge even in America during the day, even to the sheltered people. For those in the audience,
it was a huge fear.
For those in the audience who may not know, people who resurrection men were grave robbers who went around stealing bodies to provide to medical institutions. A lot of modern medical advancements were based off of stolen corpses. It was often, for quite a while, it was illegal to practice on dead bodies, so doctors would pay people to steal dead bodies for them.
And then hide them.
Yep, and then hide them.
And practice carefully and quietly and hiddenly.
There are several doctors that have been found in history that had dozens upon dozens of people buried under their floorboards. Some of them were serial killers. Most of them were just practicing anatomists. This is an actual phenomenon that occurred, and it occurred very often. It was a great way to make a buck if you had a strong back and no moral compulsions.
Huh.
Relearn. All right.
Right. Christine and I have both taken full courses on this at university, and Jen just does this recreationally. Steals corpses.
Obviously.
So, Evelyn, down in the hole, you're going to see, all right, looks like, given the wedge formation and the damage on that nail, probably happened when this thing was busted open. He bled on the inside. You're going to see a large boot print covered in dirt along the white silk that says this man's boot is about the modern equivalent of a size 12, but is a very specific pattern. Very like flat soled with a crack down the center of it. Looks like a cheap boot, working man's boot. However, what you're also going to see is that there is, well, a bit of two things inside of the casket that you'll notice. The first is going to be the presence of a bit of what could only be described as horse shit, which is not unusual. Horse shit with dried hay in it is a little less usual. Non-digested hay as well implies a stable. However, it's quite old. Like, this hay is very coarse, very dry. Am I being messaged by a horse girl, Robin? Who has things to say about hay? Okay. Poking around in the hole for that, what you are also going to find is 7 successes. God. When you give all of the clues and you still have like 3 successes worth of good stuff left. How good could this be? Okay. Inside, let's see. I'm lifting a body out. You are going to find, against all odds, a small strip of broadcloth, of broadsheet, I guess I should say, that has a bit of fried fish wrapped in it. Looks like whoever this was had gone out for fish and chips earlier and kept some of it in his pocket, only to have dropped it in this. It is mildewy and rough, and starting to definitely go bad inside of this coffin. You don't want to eat this, but you will see that this bit of broadsheet has the name of the sheet on it. The Cheapside Gazette. You have been in London long enough that you are probably accustomed with most of the rags. The Cheapside Gazette is a very, very small print that only circulates around the Thames near the Cheapside district, or Cheapside Street, I should say.
Okay.
Now, this is the age where there were hundreds of newspapers per town.
Mhm.
Anybody with a printing press could make this. And given the number of misspellings there, you can confirm that it is real based on how bad the E is positioned. All right, up there, Chastity, what do you do?
I don't know if it makes a difference, but I actually had one more success because I forgot I spent the willpower.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't, but
It
just
doesn't
wanted
for
to put
this.
it
It means that you will know that this happened. So he was buried 5 days ago. This happened that night.
there. Okay.
Fresh body is best body.
Yep.
So when if she comes out of that, she's gonna take another swig of gin.
Sounds good.
Yep. And resurrection men. Ring any bells?
What?
We need to find a doctor.
Chastity, you're not making any sense. What?
Yeah.
Someone took the body.
Yes.
So 2 people took the body.
Yes.
Okay.
And it seemed like that's something that they do. So
Why would people just take a body?
Experimentation.
do you know anyone or how to find anyone that would be experimenting on freshly buried corpses?
Well, I
Why would you
mean,
need
none
to
that would
steal it and
admit
just
to
get-
it. Most up-and-coming doctors need to study on something. And it is rather illegal, unfortunately.
It's illegal. Why?
Well, I suppose you're from not here, so you don't really have Christianity?
I mean, there's a lot of religions.
Well, once the body is buried, to disturb it is to disturb its ability to resurrect when it comes time, and if pieces are missing, there's several schools of thought, but the most common one is that you do not disturb graves. And also that most people find it rather disturbing to think that somebody might dissect their body after death.
Earth is a strange place.
Which is why it used to be done to criminals.
Fascinating.
I'm pretty sure that was used to and not yet happening.
I think that
Trying to keep my timeline straight
by
here.
this point, they definitely were doing this to criminals as a punishment, or they were threatening to at the very least. They definitely,
Yeah.
no, they were definitely doing it by the 90s. I think
I
they
would
started.
think so.
I believe they started doing that in the 60s. Everything bad happens in the 60s. The Beatles, grave robbing, usual.
I think it was okay, and then it became not okay for everybody.
Mhm.
The death penalty got harder to apply after 1820 when the Bloody Code was repealed, so it was probably prior to, and now is not as common.
Yeah.
Because transportation is the more common death penalty versus death.
Yeah, it's easier just to send people to Australia.
Yes, you're not killing as many criminals anymore, so.
I also remembered that I can't do any correspondence magic right now.
Oh, why not?
My unique instrument is broken.
Oh no.
Or my what is it? That's not the unique one. It's the one where I can't do it without it.
Okay.
Dory or whatever. I don't remember what it's called. Yeah.
One of them. Significant. I don't know. Something. But I have to wait for Evelyn to fix it. Which this is the second time a like necessary correspondence focus or instrument has broken.
All right. With that, fish and chips nearby. Describing that, Evelyn, are you going to share your details with your friends?
Yes.
Okay.
I will.
So,
What I've found about the newspaper and whatnot.
can I get Darcie? Can you make me an intelligence and wits roll? A rare combination of two traits. So crawling out of the grave, Evelyn recounts the information that the grave robbers had come and taken the body, and that she has a bit of broadsheet paper
And a thumbnail.
and a thumbnail.
I'm gonna put the candle out before I climb out of the grave as well.
Okay.
Just so that it's clear.
What's my difficulty?
Difficulty on this 6.
1 success.
Okay. Okay, 1 success. Glancing at this, you are going to recognize. You're going to recognize. Do you think the place that that they're talking about here? She has a little nugget of fish and chips wrapped in the Cheapside Gazette, a small paper that actually is near where you and Maeve were holding up. And inside, there's only one fish and chips place that has, well, it's a pub. Well, what would be considered a pub now, at least, that runs out of that place. It's a small hole-in-the-wall drinking and food establishment called Alfie's. A place that you went to a couple of times with Maeve, or with Mai. But it's pretty rough and tumble.
Oh, that was probably from Alfie's.
What is that?
It's up where near Mai and I were. We went there a couple times, but it was kind of a side. You know, it was one of those places, maybe not for ladies, quite.
But we have a lead, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking for 2 men. One
Find out who they sold the body to,
I'm
or who hired them to dig it up.
called Mr. Scott, and one of them missing
The other one, you heard his name was Dabs.
Yeah, Dabs. And Jazz is gonna point over at the nail. Yeah. So that's this defining feature. It might be known to the locals. Yeah.
It might be a good place to start and try and find out what happened. So, these men, they just randomly decided to go for this body because it was, what, convenient?
I don't know if it was necessarily
Or they were specifically
Random?
hired.
maybe, or just they knew there was going to be a body buried and they were hired to retrieve bodies.
Yeah,
This is true. They do
it's
like
just-
fresh.
But yes, if it was a fresh body, we were unlucky, is what I was trying to say. That's if it was a coincidence,
Yes.
it's
They-
unfortunate.
They didn't seem to know, at least they didn't seem to know who they were digging.
Oh, did you use your time magic to see back, kind of like that ritual that happened that I don't remember, right?
Something like that. Yeah. Jin?
Did you get a good look at the men? Did you see them? That if we saw them at the restaurant or wherever, we could find, you'd recognize them.
It was dark, but you got a rough look at them. One of them had a knobby nose and a cauliflower ear. The other was quite sturdy, but very long-necked. Looked kind of like a giraffe crammed into a suit.
She will describe them exactly like that.
That's what I'm here for.
Huh.
It's a giraffe.
A creature that doesn't seem like it should exist. Honestly.
Huh.
I don't think they're from this plane.
Fascinating.
I've only ever really seen pictures. I don't.
Roughly
it
what
look like?
time do I think it is now?
Right now, let's see, probably around 8 p.m., maybe a bit later. You've got about 4 hours.
All right, well, I guess we better get moving to try and find this body. Can I
too
try
late.
and use matter to get some of this mud off of me?
Sure, you can try to clean yourself with matter as you go. All right. With that, do you head back to the carriage?
I think so.
Or we head back to where the carriage dropped us off because he was moving
Yes.
around, and hopefully will come back for us.
Yeah, I want to lay this name to rest properly. If we can.
As you're walking away, can I get Chastity alone to make me an intelligence and wits roll? Or pardon me, what I'll allow this, make me an intelligence and alertness roll and tell me what you get on your dice, because the difficulty is going to be a little high. You can spend willpower on this if you want.
I'm not gonna spend willpower,
Okay.
but I got a 5, a 6, an 8, a 7, and a 10.
Okay. As you start walking away, you're going to just get this weird suspicion rise up inside of you. Turn and look back into the hole, and the moon is fading out toward a half moon in the sky slowly as the days tick by, but there's enough light that you can look down into the hole. And at the bottom of it, you notice that there was a bit of difficulty from where the casket had been dropped suddenly. But the casket was flush in your vision.
Wait. Can
What's
we look
wrong?
underneath the casket?
I mean,
I know. That's just.
Darcie, you're buff right now. Can you somehow lift it?
Yeah, I'll lift it up. Darcie will jump in and
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Lifting it up, I'll say that you can wiggle it up and kind of put your back into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing underneath.
What are you looking
Hey.
for?
I don't know. Does it look like there was something under it or something that's
Tell you
been
what,
moved?
anybody who looks under it can do me a favor. and make me a perception plus investigation roll to look for clues.
Darcie will.
Do
not
we
do
have?
anything.
Do you have a light source?
I will make a light source.
Okay.
I mean, like, here.
Yeah.
I got 2 success, or wait, we reroll 10s on, I got 2 successes on
Detail oriented apply to
Yes.
this as well?
I'll light the candle again and just like hold it down there. 2 successes on Rattray for that.
Perfect. Okay. You're going to be at difficulty of 8, Christine.
Difficulty
Also
8.
another paradox, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll leave you.
that's-
I'll leave you at the current amount.
Okay.
That's 3.
Okay. As that is pried up, looking underneath, you are going to find one thing that strikes you as strange. There, somehow against all odds, on the edge of where the casket landed, the side that landed the highest up, preserved underneath it despite the weather, is a footprint of a high-heeled lady's boot. I would say size 6, if such a thing existed, but for your knowledge, a chunky
Anything?
heeled boot. Perhaps a riding boot?
That's odd.
And you got 3 successes for that. So what I'm going to say is it's very lucky because what it looks like is inside of the casket was dirty and sooty. This impression is quite deep. It's the only reason it survived. You will know with your investigation score that the night the Gilbert Saxon was buried, it had not rained for a couple of days. The day after he was buried, it rained all day and every day for 3 days. This boot print beneath the casket was made in mud. Someone came back here after.
It was robbed and then
Someone else tried to rob it but got here too late.
Yeah.
You're not the only ones looking for Gilbert's body.
Oh, bloody hell.
And I think we're going to call game there for the night because bloody
That's
hell is the
good.
best punctuation.
It is.
All right, so folks, thank you very much. Sorry that we're ending a little earlier tonight. I need to limit my back, and I have a full day of work and streaming tomorrow. So
Very full day.
very full day. So I hope you all enjoyed that. We're going to be back. We're back in 2 weeks. We are off for the Canada Day long weekend next week, but we'll be back. And then we're on for 2 weeks. And then my mom's in town for the first time in like 3 years. But don't worry, this adventure is only going to get crazier. And I really mean, like, you guys are not going to see where this is going until it hits you in the face. So I think you're going to love it. So first of all, the chat bought you 3 experience. I'm going to give you 2. Take a total of 5 experience points.
I would like
thank
to
you.
buy a seeking at some
Okay.
point.
Okay, seeking.
'Cause it's 28.
Seeking for Robin. Okay, that sounds fantastic.
Do you remember how much spheres are if it's your primary?
I believe it's
7.
Yeah, it's 7
7
times.
times?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
Cool indeed. Anybody else have any more
Edging
questions?
Ever closer.
Edging
Ever
ever closer.
closer. Forces 4.
Yeah. Save it up because your seeking is going to be coming pretty soon.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm saving up for, but
Anybody want to
saving.
buy a point of investigation for 3 XP?
Wait, what is, I forget, what is
New
Arate,
skill?
is it 4 times? Yes, I know, but what time, what's the Arate?
Arate is 7 times.
I have 4
or 8
points,
times?
so yes,
7 or 8
Darcie.
times?
No, it's
If-
8 times.
It is
It's
8
8
times?
Okay,
Okay.
so I just have it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so
It
save up.
doesn't- seem
So
like
it's
a
8
Josie
times
thing.
the new point. So
Yeah.
like 8 times 4 or something like that.
So 28
Okay.
XP for level. Or pardon me,
32.
32
32
XP. I was
for
thinking
I was
level
going to
3.
say that can't be quite right.
Not quite
It's
right.
28 for a level 4 sphere in
Yeah.
your primary.
All right. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning into tonight's game. Stay cool out there. Have a great time. And have a good long weekend next weekend if you get one. If you're in the colonies like us. Because it's
Well,
the
then
first.
the 4th is on the Monday.
I
so
know, right?
for-
I get double. I get double as either way. I'm against England no matter where I am. So ha ha ha. I'm ruining your history one game at a time. Or more or less just reminding people about how bad it already was.
I mean, Canada, we didn't leave on bad terms. We're just like, yo, we want to be our own country.
You're like, Mommy, am I allowed to leave the home now?
Mommy, I would
Mummy.
like to be a country.
All
Mommy,
right, fine,
please.
whatever.
Now we've been spending a lot of time with our big brother, and you don't want us to turn out like them, so just say yes.
Oh my god.
Right?
Bro, just tell her to go to hell. It's not like she has a navy anymore, bro. We'll start our own
Non-historian
empire
doesn't get
with
it.
blackjack and hookers. That's basically the American story right there.
I loved tonight's session because it touched on so many things that are the stuff I studied specifically.
Right.
It was great.
It's
I
great.
need
Like
was
the
nice when you get
wages, the
those-
theft
yeah.
stuff, the penal code.
I need to buy
Death.
investigation for Darcie because it's kind of like, Darcie can't be smart, even though Robin figured out it was like, once the second Kelly said that it was put in his scuba, Chastity saw it flat energy. I'm like, oh, someone's there, but Darcie can't roll on that shit.
Well,
Yeah,
what's
I just-
hilarious is that Chas has investigation 1 dot. 1
Yeah,
dot.
same. 1 dot.
But the -1 on perception because of the task mushroom
Oh,
has been rough on my already terrible rolls.
Oh, that actually reminds me. Does anybody have any suggestions for what specialty I should take for 4 int?
Rational deductive.
Deductive? Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
That will help with me figuring shit out because
Did really well.
Evelyn's smart.
Alternatively creative.
Christine's also smart, but Christine does not put obvious clues together.
So creative or deductive could both be really good.
Okay, I like deductive.
Yeah.
Robin, look at the new meme.
All right.
Robin is way better at
So
putting shit
good.
together than I am, but
I
my
know.
character is better at it.
All right.
But I
so-
sit here going, oh.
All right, folks, we're gonna call
that's
it here.
fantastic, Professor
I'll-
Multiverse.
If you want to see this meme, join our Discord. It's free for the first 30 days, and then after the first 30 days, it's also free. Also,
Unless you want the Patreon channels.
unless you want the Patreon channels, then which are usually bopping. So I want to quickly thank everybody who supports the stream over at patreon.com/dorktales. You literally allow the stream to exist because this is a full-time gig. If you join these games, I strongly suggest that you maybe consider giving a cup of coffee over there. However, if you're flush with fat stacks like the people I'm about to mention, feel free to donate your heart's content because it allows me to take ever more time away from my other job. First of all, I would like to thank our BDE Supreme Royal Patron, Schulten, as he returns and has claimed the first ever World Builder title. I would also like to thank our divine producer, DM Michael Gray, Precarious, and Soul Omen, our demonic producers, as well as our princes of the Patreon, which are Terran, Buddy, Trizelta, Cubby Aeolus, and Amberthist. Y'all are phenomenal. You're amazing. And you allow me to do this amazing thing as my job. So thank you. You're all wonderful people. So yeah, what that means is that because Schulten has backed the World Builder category, he is going to get to design a portion of Elos along with me. We're going to team up and actually, it's really funny because he's like, I have all these ideas. And I'm like, this is literally the new homebrew I was about to run. So, okay, sure. Here are my notes, bro. Go nuts. It's going to be...
I guess you'll have
It's
to run
amazing.
home.
I'm going to run it. Yeah, he said no rush. So, like, he knows I'll get to it eventually. I would rather not rush it, and I would rather do something that everybody really enjoys, you know?
Yeah.
So, it'll be a
Yeah.
lot of
And
fun.
and a story that you're excited to tell too
It's-
is also
he-
very
he-
important.
He's
Yes,
designing
it makes
the...
all the difference.
I've told you guys about it already. He's designing Stormheart. which I'll tell you about after game.
Yes.
Folks, love you very much. We will see you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe, smash that bell. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe because it matters. And for those of you on Patreon, we will see you tomorrow night for another, I guess for the first episode of Strixhaven that we're broadcasting secretly just to you, which is weird. Thanks to Professor Multiverse for the memes. Thanks to everybody who subbed tonight, and we'll see you next time. Good night, mages.